Hello everyone, I'm Ankit and you're watching StudyIQ IAS English. In our today's video, we'll try to understand why is Meghalaya's unique society presently under threat. Now, the reason why we are covering this topic for our today's discussion, as you already know it, for many years now, there has been a demand of introduction of uniform civil code in the country. Uniform civil code basically means introduction of those personal laws which will be equally applicable to all the people in India, irrespective of their religion. Now, this proposal for introduction of UCC actually raises concerns among tribals and other ethnic communities in India, because tribals feel if and when the Uniform Civil Code will be introduced, it will erode upon and infringe on their customary laws and socio-cultural practices, which, by the way, enjoy constitutional safeguards. And in Meghalaya also, which is a northeastern state, you need to understand BJP is in power with coalition of other regional allies like the National People's Party. But to your surprise, the allies of the NDA government in Meghalaya, including the NPP, all of them are against the introduction of Uniform Civil Code in the state of Meghalaya. So in this regard, we'll try to understand what is so unique about the society of Meghalaya, how it is constitutionally protected, and why do people of Meghalaya presently see Uniform Civil Code as a threat. Now, the notes which I will be using for our today's session, you can also download them by going to a particular Telegram channel called as ATS Live, and while you're at it, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel also. Okay, so let us start by understanding the demographic composition of the state of or the region of Northeast. Now, we need to understand northeastern region of India is predominantly having the population of scheduled tribes in majority. So much so that in the state of Mizoram, scheduled tribes constitute more than 94% of the population, whereas in the state of Meghalaya and Nagaland, they account for more than 86% of the total population. And in these three states, in addition to Arunachal Pradesh, the demography is dominated by people who follow Christian and other indigenous faiths. Now, let us come back to Meghalaya. Now, we need to understand the society of Meghalaya is very unique in a way which follows what is called as a matrilineal basis of society, and it is the only state in the entire country which follows this kind of societal organization norms. Now, what is a matrilineal society? In a matrilineal society, as against the other parts of the country, in a matrilineal society, your descent, inheritance, as well as your clan identity, they are traced through your mother's lineage, which is, you can understand, very different from the rest of the country, where we follow a patrilineal system of inheritance, where your inheritance, your identity, etc. is traced from your father's family. Now, the major reason why this matrilineal culture is thriving and surviving in the state of Meghalaya is because its three major tribes, Garo, Khasi and Jaintia, all of these three follow the same kind of family organization. Now, how is matrilineal society different from patrilineal society? Let us try to understand it in a way what makes Meghalaya society very unique. Now, first of all, the lineage in a matrilineal society is traced to your mother. So, the children who are born, they belong to the mother's clan, not their father's clan. And even their family name, their clan membership are inherited from the mother. Now, there is one very unique trend in India as against Meghalaya, that in a marriage, after the marriage, the bride naturally moves on to the groom's family's house, right? But this is not the case with Meghalaya. In Meghalaya, after the marriage, the husband often moves into wife's family home. So exactly opposite. Similarly, the inheritance through the daughters are given in the state of Meghalaya. What happens that among Khasis and Jaintias in particular, the youngest daughter in the family usually is the one who inherits all the ancestral property. But there is a very single reason why we call Meghalaya's family system or societal system matrilineal and not matriarchal. What is matriarchal? Dominance of women in the society. So what makes it matrilineal and not matriarchal? Let us try to understand it. In Meghalaya's society, your maternal uncle has a very pivotal role in the organization of the family. So the mother's brother, traditionally, they play an important role in family affairs as well as exhibiting guardianship. So even though the youngest daughter in the family would hold the property, the matrilineal uncle or your mother's brother would be the one who would play a central role. How? He acts as an advisor, mediator, disciplinarian, and even the protector, overseeing his sister's children and managing even the family's asset. Similarly, as far as succession to political office is concerned in the state of Meghalaya, it passes from the maternal uncle to the sister's son, not the daughter. So it is often described as a matrilineal descent with an avuncular governance, which means uncle-based governance, and that is why although the societies in Meghalaya trace their lineage to their mother, it is not a women-dominated society in particular, right? So this is why the society of Meghalaya is very unique. Now let us try to understand how Constitution ensures protection and preservation of this very unique culture. You need to understand Constitution through 6th schedule, that is Article 244, which was introduced in 1950. It granted autonomous district councils, which are special bodies, the right to make laws on certain matters. This include laws on land, forest, as well as customary practices. So in a way, the autonomous district councils are the guardian which shield your matrilineal system from national patrilineal legal norms like the Hindu Succession Act, which was brought in 1955. Now, this protection provided by the 6th schedule, it is operationalized through many bodies which are called as autonomous district councils. These are present in 4 states of the Northeast. Please let me know which are the 4 states of Northeast where 6th schedule areas are in application. Coming to Meghalaya, autonomous district councils are located in 3 different hill districts. This include Khasi Hill Autonomous District Council, Jaintia Hill District Autonomous Council, Garo Hill Autonomous District Council, all these 3 of which were introduced in 1951. Now what you have to understand here, the President of India, using his or her power under Article 342 of the Constitution of India, also grants the status of scheduled tribes to Khasi, Garo and Jaintia, which brings additional protections and benefits. So first of all, there are some tribes in Northeast which have been provided reservation across the country. As far as their standard cultural practices are concerned, those are also protected by the mechanism of 6th schedule, where a special body known as Autonomous Hill District Council would be in charge of making the laws, and the normal laws passed by the Parliament as well as state legislature are not applicable to the 6th schedule areas, right? So this is how ADC's lawmaking power protects the culture of the Northeast, particularly the tribal dominated districts. For instance, there is this Custom of Lineage Act of 1997, which states that there is a criteria for how the term or how a child would be deserved or designated as a Khasi, and they also set the condition for granting the scheduled tribe certificate. So this culture, you need to understand, is very key to the Meghalaya society and how it is protected from the overall or the majority opinion of way of life, that is the patrilineal form of inheritance. Now what you have to understand, why do people of Northeast, especially Meghalaya, they see uniform civil code as a matter of threat? Now, as I told you, the culture of India's personal laws, which govern aspects like marriages, inheritance, succession, they have historically assumed patrilineal and patrilocal family structures. So for example, as I was talking about the Hindu Succession Act. So in Hindu Succession Act, your matters of marriage, inheritance and succession entirely depends upon your father's side of the family. But on the other hand, if a uniform civil code is introduced in India, which would naturally follow this patrilineal template, don't you think the entire principles or the entire basis of the matrilineal system of your family organization, which is prevalent in Meghalaya, would be overridden, would erode? So this is their primary reason of threat. Similarly, the 6th schedule, which is operationalized through the autonomous district councils, it ensures subsuming of individual as well as constitutional rights within the wider ambit of collective right given in the tribal communities. So if and when you enforce a uniform civil code, it would legally supersede this council level of lawmaking in matters of marriage, inheritance and lineage. Please understand, this very council level of lawmaking is what that has preserved the unique culture of the tribals in the Northeast. So if and when a uniform civil code is introduced, this would override this. Now what you need to understand, first of all, is that in matters of tribals like Khasis and Jaintias and even Garos, matrilineally is not something of an inheritance system for them. It is just more than that. You need to understand, this is very key to their identity as a tribal. And in Indian Constitution, Article 29, it protects any section of population and gives them the right to have a distinct language, script and culture, not just have that but also conserve the same. And this is the very fact which supports preservations of Meghalaya's tribal customs. And any law, be it a uniform civil code which would affect these customs, is viewed as a threat to the cultural autonomy of the tribal communities. So for many you would be thinking that this just governs one aspect of their life, but no, this is the central of their very identity, and if you take that, therefore this is perceived as a threat in Northeast. Now, what has changed after the introduction of a similar UCC bill in the state of Assam? As I was telling you, right now there is no pan-India uniform civil code. But since coming into power, especially the Bharatiya Janata Party has ensured that some states in India, Gujarat, Uttarakhand and Assam in particular, they have their state respective UCCs that have been introduced and enacted. But something happened in Assam which actually changed this common perception among the other states of Northeast, particularly in that of Meghalaya. Now, the earlier opposition that the tribal communities of Northeast had against Uniform Civil Code was based on uncertainty about what would be the actual contents of UCC. But after they examined the laws which were proposed and enacted in states like Assam and Uttarakhand, the Meghalaya government has found that the tribal communities and their customs, they have largely been kept outside the scope of the Uniform Civil Codes introduced in this state. So this in a way has provided some degree of reassurance to the people of Meghalaya. So what do people of Meghalaya want? Do they want UCC? Probably yes, but they want this UCC to be introduced while at the same time respecting the 6th schedule of the Indian Constitution. At the same time, they want that their tribal customary laws should remain protected and this matrilineal social structure is not adversely affected if and when any UCC is passed in the country. Now you need to understand, as Meghalaya lacks a dedicated article like Article 371 and 371C, which provides for 5th schedule areas in Nagaland and Mizoram, this kind of a protection is not provided to Meghalaya. Meghalaya is protected under Article 244, that is the 6th schedule of the Constitution. So there is a demand in the state of Meghalaya that Meghalaya specific chapter should be introduced in 6th schedule, which would ensure that their rights are protected much like the other states, in addition to providing them the benefits which the 6th schedule already offers. So this was all for today's discussion on why a unique societal aspect of Meghalaya society, that is the matrilineal system of linkage or clan-based identity, is under threat because of future introduction of Uniform Civil Code, and how has government tried to deal with this threat. Now, if you're watching this from the state of Meghalaya, do let me know what is your humble personal opinion on this matter in the comment section. Now, before we take up a question that had appeared in UPSC exam on this very subject matter, you need to understand the topic that we dealt with not just deals with the societal aspect of the syllabus, but also with the political aspects of how different communities are organized and governed in India. Now, this forms an interplay of society and polity, and similar interlinkages are very essential if you have to be very successful in UPSC. Similar kind of interlinkages are ensured in all of our classes in StudyIQ, where if you take admissions to GS Foundation P2I batches, you will get maximum discounts on all the courses. And this batch, which is available in English, starts from 7th of July in the evening session, and especially for the northeastern side, please ensure that this batch is exclusively an English batch. You need to understand the pedagogy, the content, everything provided here is in English. So even if you have no idea about what Hindi is or what other languages are, you'd be very sure that the teaching is provided here in English. Now, before you take the admission, please remember 7th July onwards this batch starts, and if you apply this code ATS Live, you are going to get maximum discounts on all the courses. So this is all from my side for today. Before winding up, this is the question I'd want you to solve, which appeared in 2015 UPSC exam. The provisions of 5th and 6th schedule of the Constitution are made in order to do what? Do let me know the correct answers also in the comment section, and if you want to download the notes, they will be made available on this particular Telegram channel called as ATS Live. So this is all from my side for today. Please have a very good day. We'll see each other again quite soon.